Hello, Robert Burke. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Everybody, this is the very gifted medium, Robert Burke. He's going to translate Erik for us. Hi, Erik.
It's a hi, Mom.
How you doing?
I'm sorry, he's distracted me. You know, he always does this whenever I talk to Michelle in particular. He'll pick his nose.
Oh, Erik.
So anyway, he said I'm all good. He said it's all good.
Okay. Well, is there any way you can bring in Paul Walker for us? People have really requested that interview over and over again.
Yeah, he's here. He's been like hanging around for the last couple of days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but before Paul speaks, there's something else that someone else that's here. It's a horse.
A horse?
A horse. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's a palomino.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's connected to you or maybe to someone who's going to watch the video,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a palomino and it's cream colored with lighter cream colored spots.
Oh, wow.
So whoever that belongs to, the horse is letting you know they're all great
Oh, good.
and
Wow,
that
that's
they
interesting.
love you.
That's not
So
mine.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
scared of horses.
yeah. I didn't think you had a horse like that. I know y'all have had them in the past, but
Yeah. Okay.
all right.
All right. So, Paul, thank you for coming to the interview. I appreciate it.
He said, "Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me."
You have a lot of fans in channeling Erik. I think they just think you're a big hunk of man candy. That's what it is, right?
He just laughs. He laughs and looks down and he blushes.
Oh, that's cute.
I'll
A
tell you.
spirit that blushes.
I know he's very polite. Uh, really, really sweet.
Hmm.
He's tall. He's like 6'2"
Wow.
or 6'3", somewhere in there. Uh,
At least now.
and you know, he's not. He's. I guess you could use the word soft spoken, but maybe a better word is just humble.
Okay. What's he wearing?
A white shirt and some dark pants and some cool shoes. Did
Oh,
you like you like shoes? He said, "Yeah, man."
what kind of shoes are they?
It starts with a D. I can't make out the word.
Okay.
Dolce something.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
I don't know
fashion.
shoes.
I do not know
Yeah,
fashion.
that's the one thing I've learned is, if you don't have a point of reference in your brain, then all you can do, for me anyway, is describe it.
Okay.
Because the words don't always easily come.
Well, I'm going to start out just asking a few questions that were submitted by a blog member. First, was your death meant to happen?
He's kind of he was talking a little bit, and I'm trying to listen to what he says. He said, well, yeah, of course it was meant to happen. If it weren't, it wouldn't have.
Well, why?
It was my time to check out.
And why is that?
Everything that I came here to do in life, I had done. He said, when your number's up, it's up.
Okay, so did you complete your spiritual mission? Is that what happened?
Yeah. He said, at the time, I didn't want to go, of course, you know. He said, the reason it happened the way it did so quickly is because it gave me no choice. I had to go, right? There was no stopping that.
Mm-mm.
I had said prior to my death, I had said my goodbyes to everyone in my own way.
Mm.
I didn't know I did.
Mm.
Um, he said, you know, I didn't want to leave my family, my
Yeah.
daughter especially,
Mm.
you know. And if I had had a lingering death, they would have had to watch that. Not me, not for me.
I didn't know you had a daughter.
Um, I don't know.
I didn't know he was
I know
married.
that,
I
I
don't.
know
I
that.
don't really know much about you, but
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry, I've watched a lot of your stuff, but
yeah.
um. So
He said my movies aren't your cup of tea.
No, well,
He said I'm just messing with you.
I know, I know, I know. Let's go on. Okay, what
He
was
said I
your
want to
spiritual
put you on
mission
the
then?
spot.
You put me on the spot by Paul Walker. What was your spiritual mission?
He's like he's laughing and he's kind of like like that. You know,
Uh-huh. So, what
he's,
was your spiritual mission, Paul?
he said, well, he said, like, for the fans and everything, my mission was, to just take them out of their life,
Mm.
to let them experience something other than what they experience already in their day to day, to give them, to remind them of the connection to, the fantasy side of things, um, the imagination, all that kind of stuff. Um, in my personal life, my mission was simply about the importance of family, learning the importance of that, having a strong connection, and bringing my daughter into the world. But he hasn't talked about um, this other person, but there's a boy too. I don't know if this boy. I don't think he's alive. I don't know if he died like in childbirth or was a stillborn or a miscarriage or something. But there's a male child that's around him too.
Really? Who is that, Paul?
He said it's the one that wasn't meant to be.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you're together. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, reflecting on your life, you do feel like you accomplished both of these spiritual missions, then, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have exited.
He said I'm very satisfied.
Were you here to teach anything?
Well, he says the contract is the same thing as the lesson and the teaching part.
Oh, yeah.
So everything that I mentioned earlier, he said
Okay.
is what we taught was taught.
Okay. Do you have any regrets?
He said when it comes to regrets, I don't. He said I don't know if you could call this a regret, but it's something that I wished could have happened, but I know it wasn't meant to, and that's to see my daughter grow up,
Mm,
to be there and walk her down the aisle, all that stuff.
sure.
Uh, you know, and if I regret anything, even though I had no control in the matter, it's that she is growing up without me.
Yeah.
He's like really got a strong connection with this girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's so sweet. Well, can you
He,
share?
he said I think you could relate to that.
Oh, you have a message for her in case she grows up and happens on this YouTube video?
He said just know that daddy loves you, princess.
Oh, that's sweet. Can you share another life that you had that most influenced your one as Paul Walker?
He said, well, it's no secret how much I love cars,
Yeah.
fast cars.
Mm,
It didn't happen. It was pretty recent, this life. When was it? Like, just tell me like the year, because if you show me stuff, I won't know. 1954. He
okay.
used to race in, well, I guess it's like stock cars or stock car racing or something.
Mm-hmm.
He said I died in the same way there. It was an accident, but I didn't go right away. Um, severely, well, that's the same thing happened in this life. Uh, severely burned, and he
Mm,
died the from he didn't die right away. Like so, he dealt with the burn issue and things like that for a while before he
mm,
passed. Died from an infection after that.
mm.
So he said, so that was a big life that shaped this one and I just carried that over because I loved, the excitement of it all, the risk of it all. Uh,
Okay. But you didn't learn from that one, huh? You still put your life in danger.
he said, well, it's just a different way he said, I learned things. I just learned different things from having the
Okay.
same thing happen.
Okay, but
In that life, I was in control of the
mm,
car. He said, it's
okay.
well known, it's all over the media that I wasn't driving.
Okay.
And I wasn't in control of that. Just like in this life, I didn't have any control over when I went. It was at
Okay.
somebody else's hands.
Uh, did your death was it painful at all?
For my life as Paul Walker,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
No,
good.
it wasn't pain.
How do
It
you
was
feel
instant.
about the guy who was driving?
He said, well, that's my bud.
Okay.
So, if I had to go, I'm glad I went with someone that I liked.
Okay. All right. So you don't harbor any resentment, I suppose.
No, no.
Oh, that's good. Now tell us about what happened when you transitioned. What did you see when you got out of your body?
He says, I actually saw the accident. I saw the car
Mm.
was in a big ball of flame, and I just watched it like I would be watching one of my movies,
Okay.
but there was no attachment to it.
Mm.
He said, um, he said the attachment thing is really an interesting part of it. You see it and you realize it's happening, but you realize that it's not real. The life you live in the physical world, he said,
It's
is
just.
just it's just a projection of what you uh, or came here to meant to learn.
Mm.
Whatever the lessons are that you're meant to learn, you will project that and create that life so that it's molded in a way that you get those lessons.
Mm.
And once those lessons are over, oh goodness, it's gotten light, dark. Um, then you see it that it's just a show, it's just a play, it's a
Okay.
movie. Let me turn on the light because it's
Okay.
sunlit. I didn't realize it was going to be so dark. A
There we
little
go.
better. That's a little better. Okay.
Okay. So you saw the accident, and then when you crossed over, what was that like?
He said I took my time crossing over. I had to go visit family members, my kid, just let them know in my own way that I'm still around. So I hung around for a while. I just asked him, how long in linear time,
Mm-hmm.
and he said a couple weeks.
Wow. Okay.
I took my time. He's like, I spent my whole life, he said, and that's the funny thing about it, is I spent my life um, into the fast things, fast cars, that kind of thing, um, in certain aspects anyway, because not every part of his life. It's not like he was a you know, um, a risk taker at everything
Oh
and,
yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
It was just with that part of his life.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it came to the crossing over, he took his time, which he said I could do in life too when it came to the people I love or certain things.
So
He
you
said
can
like
be a slow poke when you want to,
when
and
I
when you
wanted
need
to
to.
be,
Yeah.
because he showed me a visual of like him on a farm,
Mm-hmm.
uh, um, and he says that kind of work, that kind of manual work where you're taking care of a farm and you're throwing hay or you're working on a tractor or you're doing stuff in the barn, putzing around in the barn. He said all that, is a different kind of excitement, a slower pace, and it helps you to focus just on what's right in the moment.
Mm.
He said the faster side of things, like the fast cars and stuff, he says really you're doing the same thing, right? It's just a higher level of excitement associated with it. But he said, but I'm kind of getting off what you asked. He said, um, so when I crossed over, when I finally decided to cross over, um, uh, first thing I saw was a dog that I had as a kid,
Oh.
one of my best friend, because he said, friendship to me is really important, right? So it's not surprising that first thing I see is one of my first friends,
Mm.
um, and we walked together uh, into a. So he shows himself walking with his dog by his side, and there's a group of people, and they just like grab him and they hug him. And we all hugged all kinds of people that he knew in this life that passed and that he knew in other lives and that he just knew from heaven before he
Mm-hmm.
was born. So he said it was a homecoming.
Oh.
And it really helped, he said, because um, it helped me to, it was the first step toward me integrating back into that existence and being able to let go of everything that I knew as Paul Walker.
Mm.
It kind of makes me
Yeah.
a little poignant.
Yeah. You're sensing his emotions probably.
Yeah, yeah, I am.
I'm sure. Tell us about your afterlife and the work you do there.
He said, I just lately I've been spending a lot of time just chilling, just relaxing. Okay. He said he just showed me a visual of him sitting on a porch and they're
Mm-hmm.
like drinking beer.
Okay.
I never come across to me as the kind of guy that would drink beer, but
Mm.
um, so it's all that stuff where you're just sitting around,
All right. So
taking
you're
it
just
easy.
taking a breather.
Yeah.
Do you plan
He
on
said
doing any
he
work?
said I do the exciting fast things when I'm on the earth,
Oh, okay.
and
Do you
when I'm
plan
here,
on?
I take a break.
Good. I'm going to take a break too when I get over there. Are you planning on doing any life's work over there?
He said, "Well, for now, this is my life work." You know,
Okay.
he said everything that you do, I've learned, and I knew this instinctively on the earth. Everything you do is work. You know,
Okay.
even the stuff that everyone thinks is just
Play.
you play. Yeah,
Okay.
you're learning something from it. It's impossible not to learn.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, what do you think about the state of humanity now? Now, from a spirit's perspective.
Yeah, he said, I don't. If I were still on Earth, I would have a different angle.
Mm-hmm.
I would come at it from a different angle. But from here, he says, just like I said earlier, when it came to seeing the accident, you have a sense of detachment from it.
Mm.
Not in the sense that you're aloof and you're indifferent to it.
Mm.
You just understand what it really is and what it's working towards. So I don't really think anything negative or positive. I'm pretty uh, okay with how everything is.
Are you just looking at it as well? Everything y'all are going through is that's just lessons, 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 lessons.
Yeah, it's not an indifference, like I say. It's right. It's lessons. It's pushing you towards. Um, he said some people might use the word evolve. It's pushing you to evolve in this plane of existence.
Okay. Do you have any
So,
messages or? Oh, go ahead.
well, so he said, but I will offer one little piece of advice.
There we go. That was my next question.
Yeah, he says my advice would be to realize that your reactions to things. He said, he said your son has said this before, but your reactions to what you experience are not going to inhibit your evolution. It's not going to push you in a direction that you weren't meant to go in, but it can make you more uncomfortable. So he said, just relax with it all. He said,
Okay.
just take it in stride as best you can.
Okay. Any other messages or advice?
He said, "No."
You have any messages for your fans in particular?
He said, "I appreciate my fans. I mean, you just don't even realize how much I appreciated them in life.
Oh, that's so nice.
Because without them," he said, we all say this, but he says, I mean what I say.
Yeah,
And I would
sure.
have never become what I became if it
Yeah,
hadn't been for them.
that's
So,
true. Oh. Well, I forgot the blog
and,
members'
and,
questions.
and he said, I'm really thankful that, I'm humbled that, you know, people are still so attached to the work that I did
Mm,
and to me.
yeah. Well, I forgot the blog
Eric,
members' questions.
Eric,
Dang it.
Eric, Eric just chimed in and said, "Well, it doesn't hurt that there are a lot of people out there that think you're really hot."
That's true. That's true. I'm going to get to you too, Eric, because I want you to ask him a question. So you be thinking. But uh, one blog member asked, like, were you murdered, killed by a drone, or were you about to disclose some secret?
He laughs and he said, no, none of the above.
Okay.
He said,
What do
not
you?
everything is a conspiracy. He said, in fact, a conspiracy itself is a conspiracy, right?
I guess
It's
so.
it's just there to make people all have something to think up in their head to
Okay.
perpetuate whatever they want to believe. But he said, hey, you know what? I don't knock it because you're using your imagination, right?
That's true. Some people really do. So, what do you think? Is the last question from a blog member about all this adoration and the mourning that took place after your death?
He says, he said, as a spirit, when you feel that and you take all that love in, uh, it's overwhelming, right? Um, he said that's the one thing I guess I could say is the most profound part of transitioning is that you feel everything in its purest form,
Mm.
and so when you first transition and you start to feel all that, you still have a certain amount of influence. The physical life has a certain amount of influence over you. So as a spirit, when you feel all of that, until you get acclimated to its intensity, it can feel overwhelming.
Mm, yeah.
And when I reconnect to that life as Paul Walker, I can pull up that intensity, and I love it. It's like he says, it's like laying on the beach with the sun beaming down on you. You know how great that feels.
Mm.
He says it's really good, and I love it, and I really appreciate everybody for sending that to me.
Yeah. That's nice. Erik, do you have any questions?
He said, I like Paul. He's I wish you would. Okay. So anyway, he said, I like Paul. He's got good taste in women. Uh, he said, oh, okay, well, ask him a question and just go ahead. He was asking him what's his favorite car. He said anything red and fast.
All right.
He said like the cars in Fast and Furious, man.
Okay.
Erik said, well, yeah, but what brand? What kind of car? He said, I like Mustangs.
Okay.
With like, and then he shows on the hood, like you've seen those. It kind of reminds me of something you've seen in the movies, his movies, where on the hood where the engine is, there's something
Mm.
that sticks up out of it.
Oh, like a scoop or something? Air scoop?
No, it's like a some kind of exhaust thing that comes out of the.
Oh, maybe that's a turbo.
Yeah, like that. So I don't know what the word is, but he showed one of those, and it was
Okay.
it was red. Didn't he?
Okay. All right. Robert, do you have any questions for him?
I don't really have any questions. Um, what would I ask? He just asked me, well, what do you want to know, man? Oh goodness, I don't have anything.
Okay, that's fine. Well, you can ask him anytime you want. Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
that's why, because he and I had talked like
Yeah.
prior. So
So, did you talk about anything interesting?
he and I, I,
Mm-hmm.
I just mostly asked him, because you had mentioned before we might talk to him in one of the sessions. I just asked him, to give me information that would, you know, be helpful to the blog members
Mm.
and would validate that he's here.
Okay.
So that's really what I keep it at, and
Yeah.
and I don't really get too much into the chit chat. I'm not a big
Okay.
chit chatter.
Uh huh. I know. All right. Well, thank you, Paul. I really appreciate it.
He said, "Thank you, ma'am, for the invitation."
All right. Until
He's
next
so
time.
he's so polite.
Well, I bet he is just like yes, ma'am, and all that.
He's like that. He's a yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Thank you, sir. He's like that.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure you stay to the end because I have some announcements that I'm going to put up. And I will see you guys later. Robert, I'll call you right back.
All righty.
Thank you, Erik, for bringing Paul.
He's like,
Thank you, Robert, for translating for us.
You're welcome.
Bye.
It was fun. He was really, really, really calm,
Oh, that's
peaceful,
awesome. Yeah, I get that.
because that's the way
I
I
felt
felt
his
the whole
energy
time.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that way, very relaxed.
Yeah, it's awesome. Bye bye.
Bye.